Hello, I'm Trish Mack, Business Development Manager for First American Exchange. Now on to our topic. What are reverse like-kind exchanges? Let's begin with a little context. Most 1031 exchanges are of the forward variety, where real estate investors who want to dispose of select investment property and continue to invest in real estate can do so on a tax-deferred basis, by selling first, then buying at a later date. But what if purchasing the replacement property requires immediate action? Thankfully, there's an alternative to forward exchange structure. This alternative is known as a reverse exchange. A reverse exchange typically occurs when an investor wants or needs to acquire replacement property prior to the sale of the relinquished property. Although common terminology calls this type of transaction a reverse exchange, the investor, also referred to as the exchanger, does not actually acquire the replacement property first and dispose of the relinquished property later. Instead, the investor must arrange for an exchange accommodation title holder, or EAT, to take title to either the relinquished property or the replacement property. This allows the investor to comply with the relinquish first, replace last order, while satisfying a market requirement to close on the replacement property. There are two types of reverse exchanges. Let's first review the reverse exchange last structure. In exchange last reverse exchange, the EAT takes title to the replacement property at the scheduled closing by borrowing funds from the investor and or signing any third-party loan documents. It's important to note the investor has full control over the property, is required to pay all expenses of the property, and has all rights to receive the income of the property. Once the investor's relinquished property is ready to be sold to a third-party buyer, First American, as the qualified intermediary, transfers the relinquished property to the buyer and uses the proceeds to allow the investor to acquire the replacement property from the EAT. This acquisition from the EAT completes the exchange. Let's now review the second type of reverse exchange, the exchange first structure. In an exchange first reverse exchange, the EAT takes title from the investor to the relinquished property. This must happen prior to the closing of the replacement property. The EAT acquires the relinquished property by taking the property subject to any existing financing and borrowing the equity from the investor. The EAT uses the borrowed funds to pay for the relinquished property, and they become the exchange funds. First American Exchange then uses those exchange funds to help the investor acquire the replacement property. To complete the entire exchange, the investor must secure a third-party buyer, who then acquires the relinquished property from the EAT. Reverse exchanges are powerful, so if you have additional questions or wish to dive into a little more detail, you can always reach out to me by email or phone. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you would like other educational materials, visit us online.